truth didn't whisper, it detonated. Because when Tyler Perry finally spoke, it wasn't gossip, it wasn't leaks, it wasn't sources close to the couple. It was a deadline. 30 days. And suddenly, the Montecito dream, the gates, the roses, the $14 million fantasy started looking less like freedom and more like borrowed time. This wasn't a random celebrity feud. This was the man who saved them, finally saying enough.
Wasn't prepared to just allow Tyler Perry to have his moment on his big night, Angela.
At what exactly is going on with Tyler and what Harry and Meghan have said about it, they are humanity.
Tyler Perry just dropped a bombshell. 30 days or it's over. And no, this isn't some tabloid leak or anonymous source whispering to gossip blogs. These were his actual words said out loud in public. Meghan and Harry might lose their Montecito dream home. Not to some bank, not to internet rumors, but to the one person who actually had their back when everything fell apart. The man who gave them a place to hide, who covered their security, who stepped in when no one else would. So what happened? How did we get from Tyler Perry being their hero to him giving them a 30-day deadline? Stick around because what really went down is way bigger than anyone's talking about. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because what I'm about to show you is wild. We're talking millions of dollars, broken promises. This is where the story flips. Because Tyler Perry wasn't just helpful, he was the lifeline. Rewind to 2020, chaos everywhere. Harry and Meghan didn't leave royalty with a plan. They fled. Canada to nowhere. Security panic. No permanent US base, no infrastructure, no safety net. And that's when Tyler Perry didn't hesitate. He opened his doors.
Over there in Montecito, you got any of them private jets? We need some of those private jets.
And a timeline that's about to blow your mind. Like this video if you want the full story, because trust me, you don't know the half of it yet. Let's get into it. Let's rewind to 2020 because that's where this whole thing starts. Meghan and Harry bolt from Canada out of nowhere. Like 1 minute they're there, the next they're gone. Security worries piling up, no solid plan for what comes next, and nowhere permanent to land in the States. They needed help, and they needed it fast. That's when Tyler Perry swoops in. This wasn't a favor, this was rescue. Not a guest room, not a short-term rental, his actual mansion. Full security, total privacy, no questions asked. At the time, it was framed as generosity. A billionaire helping two people starting fresh. And on the surface, it looked beautiful. At the time, everyone framed it as this beautiful act of generosity. A Hollywood heavyweight with a big heart stepping up to help a couple who just walked away from everything they knew. And honestly, that's exactly what it looked like on the surface. Tyler Perry being Tyler Perry, doing what successful people with compassion do when they see someone struggling. But here's the part nobody noticed. The help didn't stop. It evolved. Quietly. Off the books. Behind closed doors, because the Montecito mansion didn't buy itself.
Shines. Meghan Markle recently said that you reached out to her and said, come, you can.
That's where Tyler Perry allegedly came in again. And get this, none of it was structured the way you'd expect. No lawyers hammering out contracts, no paperwork splashed across headlines, no public announcements or press releases about loan agreements, just trust between friends, millions. No contracts, no headlines, just trust. And that's where everything began to crack. Because money loaned in trust only works when respect stays intact.
And Meghan. With 2 acres, the over 13,000 square foot house offers 5 bedrooms, 5 full baths.
You don't write checks that big to folks who are already set. You loan that kind of money to people who actually need it. People who are between one chapter closing and another one starting. This was supposed to be temporary. A bridge, a pause, a moment until the Netflix and Spotify money flooded in. But something happened.
That really stuck out at me. Please share. So the writer writes, when I meet up with Meghan a week later, we're in a grand Browns.
The payments slowed. Then they stopped. The payments that were supposed to come back, they started slowing down, and then eventually they just stopped. Now, when someone loans you money, especially the kind of money we're talking about here, communication is everything. Calls unanswered, messages left on read, reminders ignored. And here's what people get wrong. This wasn't about money. It was about being erased.
Meghan fashion. The timing and tone have royal watchers raising eyebrows. The perfectly curated image.
He's not that kind of person. He's patient, he's understanding, and he gets that life happens. So he didn't blow up. He didn't go running to the media. He went quiet instead. And that silence, that was the warning. Because when someone as patient as Tyler Perry stops speaking, it means he's already exhausted every private option. The warmth vanished, the distance grew, and behind the scenes, this wasn't friendship anymore, it was avoidance. Ghosting the man who saved you is a line you don't uncross, and once that line was crossed, only one option remained. Make it official, make it public, make it real. The 30-day deadline didn't come out of nowhere. It was the final move after everything else failed. The 30-day deadline didn't land in a vacuum. It landed right when everything else collapsed at once. Because on paper, Meghan and Harry were supposed to be swimming in cash. Netflix headlines, Spotify millions, Hollywood calling. But paper promises don't pay a $14 million mortgage. This is the part nobody wants to admit. Contracts aren't cash, hype isn't income, and attention doesn't cover six-figure monthly burn rates. And once the fantasy cracked, the math got brutal fast. The first domino was Spotify. $20 million. That number made people assume they were set for life. But behind the scenes, production dragged. Content stalled. Executives got impatient. And then Bill Simmons went public, not privately, not diplomatically, publicly, and called them grifters. That wasn't gossip. That was a corporate red flag. Once that deal collapsed, the money they were counting on to stabilize everything simply vanished. Netflix held on longer. The documentary hit hard at first. Curiosity carried it. Everyone wanted to look inside the royal fallout, the private life, the escape narrative. But curiosity burns fast. And when the follow-up projects landed, the audience didn't. By 2025, some releases weren't even cracking the top 300. And here's the problem nobody can spin away. Viral interest does not pay property taxes. It does not fund round-the-clock private security. It does not cover staff salaries, maintenance, insurance, or lifestyle overhead. That Montecito house wasn't a home. It was a machine that required constant cash input. And the machine was starving. So when Tyler Perry stopped getting repaid, it wasn't because of bad intentions. It was because the money wasn't there anymore. This is where the choices got ugly. Because when cash tightens, priorities surface. Bills get ranked. People get categorized. Who can wait? Who won't? Who stays quiet? Who speaks up? Tyler Perry watched the Spotify deal implode. He watched Netflix momentum fade. He saw the earnings pipeline dry up, and he realized this wasn't a temporary hiccup, this was structural failure. Then came the part nobody talks about comfortably. There was no royal safety net left, no quiet palace assistance, no discreet family support, no behind-the-scenes smoothing things over. King Charles had cut them off. Prince William wasn't answering. Every bridge had been burned, not slowly, but publicly. The interviews, the memoir, the accusations. You can't scorch earth and then ask for shade when the heat gets unbearable. By 2024, they were alone. No institutional cushion, no family bailout, no invisible hand keeping things afloat. And when Hollywood saw that, they noticed. Because Hollywood loves potential, but it hates risk. And nothing screams risk like collapsed deals, underperforming content, and private lenders going public. That's when the silence from Meghan and Harry's camp became deafening. No denial, no receipts, no statements shutting it down. And here's the rule of power. When you're strong, you respond fast. When you're scrambling, you go quiet. Reports started surfacing about internal financial reviews. What assets exist? What can be liquidated? What's actually accessible? Jewelry, inheritance funds, future payments that hadn't arrived yet. This wasn't gossip. This was damage control. And Hollywood was watching every move. Because once Tyler Perry, a man known for patience, loyalty, and restraint, goes public with a deadline, everyone else who's ever helped quietly starts doing math. Nobody wants to be last in line. That's how pressure compounds. One voice breaks silence, and suddenly everyone reassesses. And then came Markle, the foundation that was supposed to be legacy building, image saving, philanthropic proof of purpose. Except the numbers didn't work. Over $5 million out, around $2 million in. That's not philanthropy, that's a financial leak. Staff cuts followed. Bills piled up. And then the heirs started paying attention. That's not random, that's triggered. Questions about blurred lines. Foundation expenses versus personal infrastructure. Public good versus private brand maintenance. When regulators start looking, everything slows, approvals freeze, spending halts, donors hesitate, partners back away. And when your foundation is also your public identity, that scrutiny spreads fast. All of this was happening at the same time. Spotify gone, Netflix fading, foundation bleeding, royal ties severed, and Tyler Perry done waiting. That's why the 30-day deadline wasn't dramatic, it was logical. From his perspective, patience wasn't fixing anything. Time wasn't improving cash flow. Silence wasn't restoring trust. So he drew the line. And here's the brutal truth that's exposed: that Montecito life wasn't independent. It was borrowed independence, borrowed money, borrowed security, borrowed time, and borrowed things always come due. From the street, the house still looks perfect. Gates close smoothly, gardens bloom, ocean views stretch endlessly, but houses remember debt. Every unpaid dollar sits in the walls. Every ignored message lingers in the foundation. Every promise made during hopeful times still waits for delivery. This mansion was sold as freedom. Freedom from royalty, from control, from hierarchy. But freedom financed by other people isn't freedom. It's delay, and delays run out. The clock is still ticking. Other lenders are watching. Hollywood is taking notes. And whatever happens next, repayment, liquidation, escalation, one thing is already clear. That Montecito mansion was never the beginning of their new life. It was the price tag. And the bill is no longer avoidable.